present here. Today our topic is deep dive into data science. Before that, uh, we have to understand how exactly the data science works in our day-to-day life and realize the power of data and its application. As far as we are concerned, especially student community is concerned, after the education, we have to step into develop a career. So when you develop a career, the first thing you have to understand is very simple concept called business. Only business can provide you a career. Sometimes you may be thinking that, suppose if I'm going to work in a government organization, definitely what government is doing, simply I can tell you business. If business is not there, the government is not there. So when you talk about data science, before that, you just understand what exactly the traditional business model. Very important. It's like they have got only few objective: make profit, revenue, and survive. Nothing more than that. And what's really happening if an organization is not connecting their business to data driven? The best example I can talk from my experience is the story of Kingfisher Airlines. Few years before, when Kingfisher acquired Air Deccan, there are two companies started their operation. One was Kingfisher, another was Indigo. It's an interesting thing. When we are talking about this data analysis or analytics or data science, I just want to connect with these story of Kingfisher because it's highly correlated. If you take the concept of data analysis, I can just analyze with the example of these two companies. If you take an aviation industry, it's very interesting thing is that if you try to identify the people associated with that industry, everyone is rich. Take an example, the person who is traveling in an airways, he has got money. There is a reason why he is traveling, right? And when he's traveling, you have to take the book the tickets. Normally, what happened is like either you'll go for an agent. Nowadays, it's a lot of platforms are available, and those platforms are also making money. And he's going to airport. Almost all the airports are making money. Take an example of Cochin International Airport. And from that point, each and everything is, he's experiencing. Everyone is minting money like anything. Even suppose if you want to get into a flight, there is a ladder attaching with the flight. We have to climb the ladder, and that ladder is provided by an international logistic company. They are also making money. First, enter into the flight, you'll get a plastic smile. And why she is smiling? It's because she is also making money. And each and every party involved, the company who is supplying food inside, they are making money. The company who is supplying engine, they are making money. The average salary of a pilot comes to 3 lakhs. They are also making money. Everyone is making money, and there was a time except these aviation companies. At that time, everyone was in loss. SpiceJet was in loss. Air Deccan was in loss. Indigo was in. Everyone was in loss. That is an interesting thing. So at that time, the Kingfisher entered into that one, and at the same time, Indigo is actually stepped into that business. And you know what happened to Kingfisher? Kingfisher now collapsed, and it's closed down, is wound up. And a company who's never taken their steps seriously as an airline or as a group, later they want to sell calendar to make money. So what I'm trying to tell you is that what they have missed it out, they didn't use the potential of the data. And taken another example of Indigo Airlines, which is started almost on the similar time, and they were the only profit-making airline at that time. Till even today, they have got the most of the market share, and how they are surviving. That itself is the best example from a traditional business model to a modern business model. So why I'm telling this one? You should realize the power of data and the power of uh, propelling a business. Forget about these traditional business model. I would like to give you three business which is data driven and which is very close to our life. And today, as far as participants are concerned, I don't know whether you like football or not. Everybody want to, a wish to win. Kerala Blasters should be the winners of the ISL. But unfortunately, the first match itself, they have failed, right? And if that, Kerala Blasters approach me for making a success formula, I would simply suggest the name of one company called Wistar. I don't know whether you are aware about this company. I don't know whether you are aware about the concept called scouts and what exactly they are doing. And this company is a Italian company. Basically, they are actually into sports analytics. So what they are doing, they point scouts in the ground and they are analyze each and everything by using video. They capture each and every element, track each and every player, their movements, how many times they are giving the pass, how many times they would able to take the control, each and everything. And it is an interesting point, and maybe after this program you can visit the website of this company and how the company actually turn around the business model of sports. And they are not only they are highly specialized in football. There are a lot of other companies are there in this field providing analytics in the area of football. And I was just thinking that if our Kerala Blasters approach this company, definitely I'm sure they are going to be the next winners. That is the way they are doing analytics. Another company I have told you, it's a British company that's called Octosports. They are also into the same kind of field, and but their service is much more into other sports also. So this company, giving consultation to almost all the clubs in the world, and they are present. They are giving advisory to many nations, and they are providing service to even coaches, players, and they are giving a detailed report even before and after the match. And something very interesting model where data has got a lot of role. And the second company that is also very close to my heart, the name of the company is Akshay Patra. This company is based at Bangalore. And basically what they are doing, it's like they are actually providing a lunch or a meal to government schools. They are covering almost more than 1 lakh students in a day. And if you study this Akshay Patra Foundation activities, it is very interesting that you can able to distinguish the scope of data and the scope of data science in a real life scenario. Because why I'm giving this example, when you talk about data science or data analytics, normally if you even search in the net or in a YouTube everywhere, you maybe get confused with what exactly the distinction, and they may be talking about the big giants like Amazon, Facebook, WhatsApp, or Google, But if you take in real life, how this data science play a bigger role in companies like Akshay Patra Foundation, it's an NGO. So I would like to take your attention, basically what happens, how exactly Akshay Patra Foundation is using their data analysis, and you should know their operations. Their work starts from 11 o'clock a.m. and that is for collecting all the raw materials, vegetables, everything. And an interesting thing from the second point of the preparation of coconuts for grinding. It's that work start at 1 a.m. in the morning to 5 a.m. in the morning. Cutting the vegetables, boiling the operation, masala preparation and seasoning. It's for a lunch, whatever. They are making sambar, they are making the rice, they are making the roti, and they are making more than lakhs of rotis in a day. And that works continue and it's end up to 6:30 in the evening. So, my dear participants, why I am taking this into your attention, because it's so complicated. The reason is that, take an example. They have got some policies when they are providing a meal to the kid. They make sure that at the time of serving or opening that meal box or lunch box, there should be minimum 65-degree temperature should be there. And a city like Bangalore, I'm taking the only the context of the Bangalore, they are providing this service all over the India, in many states, even union territories also. But if you take the traffic of Bangalore itself, it's very, very difficult to reach because you have to make sure that it should reach at the right time. At the same time, there should be a minimum temperature plus a minimum nutritional content. That is also they make sure about that one. And how they can able to analyze and make sure that everyone get everything on the right time. It's a very difficult thing. It's not practically possible if you think in a logical way. Take another example. They have there it's all if huge money is associating with serving these kinds of meals at free of cost, and they have budgeted almost 30 to 35 rupees for every meal. And how they can make sure that every meal's pricing is restricted to that amount is very, very difficult, because maybe 1 month before the carrot price in my area was almost near to 100 rupees. And how can you restrict the price? That's one issue. Another issue is that how we can restrict the, how we can make sure that minimum nutritional content, because we cannot change the menu always. So what happened is like, when a combination of data comes, it's very, very difficult to human being to take a call on that one. So before going into how exactly a data science helps to solve these kind of issue, I would like to give you one more example. This company is also very close to my heart. It's called Social Corps. It's another NGO. They are in association with the government of Ministry of Petroleum and Renewable Energy as the India government. And you know that the government has got a policy to give subsidized fuel to as the part of their Ujjwala Yojana. And the interesting thing is that the government would like to start a 10,000, distribution centers all over India. And they faced a lot of issues. There are two purpose was there. One is to, give you cleaned fuel to, those women who is under the poverty line. That was one thing. And the second thing is providing subsidized fuel to these women in the rural India. And I don't know whether you are aware that if you are using an uncleaned, fuel like firewood or dung or coal or all these kind of things, it's equivalent to smoking 400 cigarettes in an hour, as per the World Health Organization's report. And when the government implemented, the government faced a lot of issues in terms of accessibility of cooking gas, because in North India, if a woman want to reach to the nearest centers, they want to carry that cylinder almost 20 kilometers, and it was not practically possible. And initially, it was not successful. Then the government identified this company, Social Corps, and they have created an algorithm where to start a center or a distribution center, because that should give access to all the people. And the government targeted almost 80 million, and almost 72 million connections are given so far. So my dear participants, what I can give you hundred of examples like this from our day-to-day life. So why I have used these companies, because it's very, very close and the size of the data is not that much huge as such. And why data, and our topic is deep dive into data science. Before that, you should understand what exactly data science and how exactly it is connected. So when it comes to when I start this program, what happened is like you have collected a lot of data. Who is the participant, who is presenting, and who is giving that one? What is the time? How many participants are there? There are so many things are there. And as a human being is concerned, it's very easy to capture everything because it's all two-dimensional. It's something like looking at a chart. I can able to identify, oh, this chart is like this. There is an x-axis, y-axis. It's very easy to understand. But when it comes to certain type of data, it may not be that much easy. Take an example, a simple example: size of a chapel. So that is also data. So we normally call it as 5 size, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's the size. But if you normally take a normal measurement, it is easy to interpret and calculate. For example, 1 liter plus 1 liter is 2 liter, or 1 feet plus 1 feet is 2 feet. It is very easy. But when it comes to this chapel size, can you tell that 5 size chapel plus another 5 size chapel is equal to 10 size chapel? Or 10 size chapel should be twice or double the size of 5 size chapel. It is not like that way in practically. It's completely different. So there what happened, that same kind of data, it's very simple, 5 and 5, but it's not possible to calculate, right? Take an example of the football, the Y Scout, how, what kind of data they are analyzing. They are analyzing, how the players are playing in the ground, how many, shots they are making, yes, how many throws they are making, how many times they are making control of the ball, and how many mistakes the players are committing, okay, how many shots they have missed it out, how many mistakes they are committing in the ground. So if you are getting, it's not one person data, there are so many players are there, right? And if you compile all the data together, it's very, very difficult human being to process. It may be 3 dimensional or 4 dimensional. So the profile and history of the players, that is a one set of data. During the play, they are collecting a lot of data, and they're doing all by using videos. They are capturing the videos, and later they analyze the video by using some kind of statistical tool and some machine learning algorithms. Then they are coming up with a report. That report, you can even read it from your mobile phone even after the play. That report is available to the players, the report is available to the coach, the report is available to the club, the report is available to even to journalists also, and in a mobile phone, everything is ready for that one. So when it is comes to data science, it's very, very difficult as a human being to coordinate everything and convert the data into information. It's a tough task. So there is the importance of how to manage this data. The very interesting example is, the company called BharatMatrimonial.com. I don't know whether you're aware about, we are living in the world where our culture is encouraging arranged marriages. Yes. And India is one of the largest market. And by realizing that, when a person is ready for a marriage or decides to marriage, there are a lot of things that are important. And if you go to the Matrimonial.com, it's interesting. The first process is give a registration, and they are collecting some kind of data. Who are you? What is your background? What is your qualification? What is your religion? What is your caste? All these things. Imagine, take in India, the number of religions in India, the number of caste and creed in India. You know? So I'm a Christian, and in Christianity itself, that there are Latins are there are, Roman Catholic, there are Orthodox, there are Jacobite, there are Anglo-Indian. It's highly complicated. And there are a lot of websites, muslimmatrimonial.com or Irava.com, hindumatrimonial.com, Christian matrimonial.com, so many. And this company has got almost 300 websites. And they are operating in many countries in the world wherever arranged marriages are happening. And you know that what I required, I want to find out the right match. There also data analysis. And it's very, very difficult. And there is a 9-member team is working in bharatmatrimonial.com in the department of analytics and data science, and provide you, suitable profiles for you. And the second thing is that nowadays we might have came across a lot of fraudulent practices. Suppose if I'm registering myself as I'm an IAS officer, I'm drawing a salary of more than 5 lakhs in a month, and I have got 100 acres of land, blah, blah, blah. What happens? And other people may believe. I may get a proposal sometimes. Somebody may be interested in those kinds of profiles, and I'm telling that I'm not expecting anything. And, so all these things that leads to a lot of fraudulent practices, and they developed an algorithm or a platform that helps to find out the right partner for you, and at the same time avoid all the fraudulent practices. And a lot of other companies also. There is a company called Better Half AI. They are providing, machine learning and robotic process automation integrating to identify the right partner for you. So, as I told you, when a large number of data is occurs and with different dimensions, we want to manage the data for you required a data science. And that leads to analysis to analytics. That is the major difference as such. In analysis, anyone can do, even I can do with using our brain. But when it is comes to analytics, it is actually maybe three-dimensional, four-dimensional, five-dimensional, or multi-dimensional. It's very, very difficult to do with your human brain. So we need the help of some other tools for that one. And in that process, what's really happening, you know, previously, I don't know whether you remember or not. There was an issue at Nestle. There was a lead content in Maggi noodles, and suddenly their sales dropped down like anything. And they did a lot of market research and survey what kind of changes happened in the mentality of the people towards that brand. And previously, when the company were issuing or collecting the data only at the time whenever required, only at the time of a problem arise, they approach a market research agency to collecting the data. Okay, but today that is not necessary. Every company, every professional organization realize the power of the data and always keep on collecting the data in a continuously. And whether they are using it or not, that is another question. But that process is happening. That is because of the net connectivity, and that is because of all our IoT devices. And there is a terminology is called the companies who is working in the regime of industry 4.0 or 4.0. They are using all the possible ways to collect the data. And the normal process is they collect the data and they connect with the database, and almost 70% of the work is data cleaning because data is not in a cleaned format. I was talking about a social cops, they faced a lot of issues because when they integrate data, one database, they were telling that it was Bombay, another database, it was Mumbai, sometimes, they are using different languages for that one. And most of the data available in India, especially in India, even though it is organized, it may be recorded, but is that not in a cleaned format? That is the major challenge we are facing compared with the developed countries. If you go to our local panchayat, corporation, or municipality, everywhere they are computerized, but those data is not in a position to use directly. One of the best example I can tell you now, I have recollected, Kerala Water Authority, especially in Trivandrum Corporation, they are using an analytics tools to completely a complete solution for water management, water leakage, payment collection, proper management of fresh water resources over there. So the cleaning is one of the major part, and there comes maybe as the 70% of the work comes on cleaning, and a lot of job opportunities are there. Also, I will come to that point later. Then goes to analysis. Then we are creating the insight from that, and we have to visualize the data and publish. What do you mean by visualize? Because it's very, very difficult to understand all these data analytics models. So if you visualize, the advantage is that we may can able to understand the concept very, very clearly. Take an example. This is a visualization tool, and sometimes you may find it complicated, but when I'm explaining, it may be easy for you. So there is a brand called Samsung. I'm just selecting Samsung as a brand. And what really happens to Samsung mobile phone? How many people are actually moved out from Samsung to other brands when they are purchasing the second mobile phone? And you can able to see that some moves to Nokia, some moves to Sony's, others are moves to LG. You can able to view all the the shift of one mobile brand to another mobile brand, and easily you can able to read it. And in almost all professional organization using these kind of data analytics tools for easy understanding of the data. Sometimes these kinds of pictures may be familiar. This is what is called word crowd. And for example, if you want to read a document, I just want to understand which word is most repeated. It depend upon the size of the word. You can able to see that one. It's actually 1920 times this particular word is repeated. It's called a novel analytics. Okay, the same way the different kinds of visualization tools. This is a showroom of a bike, and they are generating three kinds of revenue. One is bikes and accessories and clothing. And from the bikes and how exactly different types of bikes and what exactly the kind of revenue they are creating from that, that exactly explain over here. And it is a rating of a movie. What I'm trying to tell you is that this is the reality behind when you visualize something over there. And publish means we have to connect with the people, because once especially after the pandemic, people are working from home. What's really happening is that there is, the meetings, the physical meetings are not possible. And after the pandemic, those companies using visualization tool, they could be able to save almost 40% of their time because of the visualization tool. That is the power of that. There is no need for further explanation. Everything is very clear from the chart itself. And these charts are highly interactive, and you can drill into the charts like anything. I don't have the time, otherwise I would have shown you that one. And it's very clear for a layman what's really happening at every moment. I don't know whether you're aware or not. There is one of the famous jewelers from Kerala, Kalyan Jewelry. They are using a complete visualization tool to track their business. And each and every time, for example, now the time is 11:42. If they want to know how many bangles they have sold and in which showroom, who is the best performer in terms of banquet, any kind of fraudulent practices happen now, any kind of abnormalities happens. If suppose they went for a promotion, whether there is an impact for those kind of promotion, everything they can able to track, because how they will come to know, they have to publish that report to all. Okay. And in future, the scope, you know this is actually spreading over to various segments, like complete the quality of the data is very important. And many organization in future, the organization want to focus on more than the size of the data. The quality of the data is very important. They are using artificial intelligence and machine learning for tracking everything. Because why they want to use, companies like Facebook or Amazon, they have to track everything and human being cannot do. Take an example, I don't know, there is a concept called high frequency trading that applies in the field of stock market. And previously there was a process called arbitrage. Arbitrage or arbitrators are like those people who is actually taking the advantage of two markets like BSE and NSE, cash market and future market, and manually they used to do the trade. Today, not even a single person is working in that segment. It's completely AI driven, and machine is buying and selling. And normally we call it as high frequency trading, or what can I tell you? Um, mission based trading. The mission is buying and selling. So AI is doing the role because the complete logic is realized, trained by using some machine learning algorithm, and the mission is doing that process. And these are the various things. I'm not going that much into that one. I was talking about a football company, that Optosport. They are using augmented analytics for that one. So I'm not going much into that one. What I'm realizing that these things are very important as far as you are concerned. Today, if you take a college, there are a lot of departments are there. There's English department. There are certain generic department. In language is a generic department. Okay, or uh, what can I tell you? Maths is there. That is a generic thing because that is applicable to all streams of science. Then other departments also there. One of the department which is not there is analytics. I'm sure that in few years, analytics going to be a generic department, because the scope of analytics is not restricting only to analytics. It is something like a ginger garlic paste. It is there every curry. It is there. We have to give ginger garlic paste. That gives the aroma. That gives the taste. So analytics or data science is something like that. So as a student, if you like, or it's a necessity, I'm not telling if you like, it is there always. Suppose if you're working in marketing, there is a marketing analytics. In HR, HR analytics. In operation, operation analytics or survival analytics there. So it is there everywhere. Even we found that even in football, even in marriage, even in education, everywhere it is there, even in agriculture. I can give you hundreds of examples like that. Way. So as a person, you'd like to connect your life with data science. The first thing is who are you? And the second thing is that what is your domain? These two things are very important. You may be a person, you may be an extrovert or introvert, you may be a person interested in marketing, you may be a person interested in science, you may be a person interested in maths, or maybe in finance or commerce or an accountancy. Sometimes you be confused with what to do. I have got an engineering degree, but I don't know what to do further. I'm a programmer and I want to get more salary rather than a normal programming. So first you ask yourself, who are you? What is your domain? These two things are important. Domain means sometimes, what happened in reality. I've met so many people. Even they completed their PhD in computer science. They after that they are realizing that this is not my field. After completing their MTech program, after completing a degree program, maybe first 2 semesters you are realizing that it was a mistake because we don't know what exactly it is. And you never think that that degree or the domain you expertise, whatever it may be, sometime you may have an interest, sometimes you may not have. That is valuable because if you could able to connect with to data, that can give you another scope. A programmer, a BSc computer science student, he or she is realizing that this is not my area, but if you connect with the data, sometime you may can able to identify a lot of interesting aspects that you can able to connect with your profile or with your personality trait even. That is the possibility. And I can able to tell you that I don't think so any organization in the world further can survive with using or with taking the advantage of data. So you have to ask yourself, who are you? What is your domain? What is your role? And you can able to connect with many things. You can start your connect with your career as a business analyst or a data analyst or a data engineer or a data scientist or a data consultant. And there are so many profiles out there. It's all depend upon who are you. Sometimes we have got our own capacity. Some students are like they are very good in finance. They are very good in accounting, but they may not be interested in statistics. But sometime if you really apply the concept of statistics into a real life problem, everywhere when where is the role of a data science is, I have given the three companies. These three companies face the three problems that leads to data science is solving those problems. Suppose if the Kerala Blasters, they may facing a lot of problems. They don't know what should be the combination of the team. They are not in a position to identify why they fail. There is a business problem. Then Akshay Patra Foundation found a problem. They want to reach the meals. They want to take it on to the right time, right quantity, right price. They are unable to do. This data science is solving their issue. Social cops, the same problem. So like government decide to give, subsidized gas to everyone, but people are not taking it because accessibility issue. That was a business problem. And by using data analysis and analytics with the help of data science. So data science means managing the data. Were the subjects like statistics actually helping you? Unfortunately, our education system is reversing the process. After doing that, in statistics a lot, we confused why we have to do all these things. Take an example, average or mean. And from sixth standard, we are studying what is mean. And after that, we are studying what is standard deviation, what is geometric mean or harmonic mean. Suppose if I am asking a MSc statistics student, what is the use of geometric mean? I don't think so. That's my experience. Even for a teacher also, sometimes you may not be able to tell because they didn't realize the various application. We may can find out a lot of industries working in the doctrine of average. Insurance is the best example. Average claims, average accidents, that's a basic of that one. And even though we are staying from sixth standard onwards and we think we are doing a lot of problem, it's got confused and finally you fed up with and why you want to do all these things. It should not be like that. Actually it is helping to solving your issue. That is the way if you are started thinking and you don't want to manually do, There comes the importance of certain things, your exposure to these tools and skills and knowledge. You should know why exactly it should use it. I mean, so there was something called embedded analytics. I have mentioned over. Why I didn't mention sometimes is not necessary that it is one of the fastest growing. It is growing under the CAGR of 13 percentage. What is embedded analytics nowadays? If you take Volvo as a transportation system, the company is claiming it's a transportation system. It's not a vehicle. They are not providing truck. They are not selling truck. They are not selling a car. They are telling they are selling a transportation system. They are using some kind of embedded analytics or predictive analytics model, which can predict when your car or truck will break down. And before 1 hour before the breakdown, they will send a message to you. It is going to break down. you know so you should know practically. And sometimes, as a student, that you may be thinking that if you are getting an opportunity to work into Y Scout or Akshay Batra or Social Corp or Optosport or any other company in this field, you see, sports may be your interesting, sport. You may be very much interested. Imagine you are getting an opportunity to work in that company. What happens? I'm suggesting go to this company's website and go to the careers. You may can identify that what kind of skill set required. That is what I'm talking about. What is the skill and the tool? These two things are very, very important. And when comes to tool, you should know there are certain tools very important. Certain tools are, you should know about this. It is something like I was showing one of the tools that was Power BI. Excel is a common tool which is using everywhere, and there will be other tools like it's depend upon the kind of work you have got. I was talking about some kind of visualization tool. Excel is a visualization tool and data analysis tool. Power BI is another tool. Another interesting tool I can show you. So another visualization tool is Tableau. Tableau is a beautiful tool which we can visualize many things in a beautiful way. I'll just give you just this is another tool. It's one of the famous tools. It's actually this company is created in 2003, and even many firms are not using this. Is one of the second largest tool which is using in the world as far as companies are concerned. And what I'm trying to do, I'm going to create a motion chart by using this one, how exactly your sales and profit is growing over a period of time, and the kind of insight you are getting from this one. Sometimes when you are actually watching the football or cricket, you might have seen that a lot of people are watching, instead of directly watching, they may be looking at the laptop. Basically what they are doing, they are tracking the data. They are more than a match, more than the play, they are actually tracking the data, what exactly happening. Then only they want to take a call to whom to replace in the next moment. That kind of insight. So as far as you are concerned, these all are the tools, and sometimes other tools like Python, or if you are using statistics, there may be some high-end tools like ClickView or RapidMiner. Sometimes SAS is another tool which is using for that one. So as far as students are concerned, you should understand one thing: data science is very important, which is almost connected with almost all the subjects. As an independent, for example, if you take statistics as a standalone, there is no value. But when we combine statistics along with economics, it is econometrics, and that's give you a lot of insight. Or if you combine statistics with psychology, that's give you another insight. I don't know whether you're aware, the best statistics books are authored by psychologists, and you can able to connect your domain, whatever it may be, engineering, it may be commerce, it may be agriculture, it may be medicine, to this one. I don't know whether you're aware, there is a company at nearby place, near to Kollam. There's a company called Alliance at Trivandrum Technopark. Almost 100 plus Ayurvedic doctors are working in Alliance International. Basically what they are doing, they are actually doing data analysis. One of my clients, I don't want to tell you, it's one of, they are running the business called Ayurvedic business. And who is doing telecalling and telemarketing? It is doctors, not the marketing specialist. Even after the pandemic, what happened is like, who is into the field for marketing? It's not possible. And how they are marketing? They are marketing by using the potential of the data. The nature of work, everything goes to data driven. Last day I had a discussion with one of the guys from TCS who is recruiting. Actually, data science is recruiting because they want to recruit 30,000 people all over India, and 30,000 people, if they need, they want to scrutinize almost 3 lakhs CV. Who is going to do this thing? And actually, machine is going to do. And how we can train the machine? We are using we gives the logic by using the data science, and some kind of machine learning algorithm will, do the entire process. And but sometimes you maybe think that what will happen to the job opportunities? No doubt, the new jobs, new kinds of jobs, a new skill set, that is going to increase. And my question is, are you updated or upgraded? And finally, I would like to tell you one thing. Capacity to learn is a gift. Ability to learn is a skill, and willingness to learn is a choice. And my request to my dear participants is, sometime you may be into a business, sometime you may be into a career, sometime you may be a student. I have only one word to tell you. Practice something which is not paid for. One day will come that will pay you what you are practicing. And thank you so much to TKM, ICTP International, and those coordinators. I don't want to mention the name because sometimes I may forget. I am very, very weak to recollect the name of the people. Vinish is coming, Akshay is coming. Thank you so much for giving a wonderful opportunity to share my thoughts. And thank you so much, my dear students, for your great patience. Thank you. If you have any doubts, if you'd like to ask any question, you can free to ask.
So down below, there's a question answer where you can put up your questions, and Jomo will answer the questions. So feel free to ask any questions. Put up your questions in that question answer chat.
Even you can ask the question related to what I have presented, or if you have any doubt regarding your career to connect with the data science or data analytics, or if you are confused with your career or what course you should select for the big data and small data. Oh, thank you so much for asking the question. See, when it comes to big data, the volume of data, generated by companies like Facebook or Twitter, you see the number of account holders over there. It is huge, and I don't think so I can take or download that data into my system and process it. It's maybe very difficult. But when it comes to a corporate, inside an organization, the kind of data they are generating, as far as I am concerned, I always propose myself as a small data analytics, because so far I didn't handle any big data. The small data which comes to a corporate, or if you take in school, managing the entire data inside the school, or I can tell you, data of a football club, that is enough. It's it's all regarding the first, that name itself, the size of the data, which we are handling, and then kind of analytics also. That is also very, very. It's not that much big as such. But suppose if you go to Amazon or Flipkart, when you are searching for a product or purchase a product, immediately you will get some kind of indications like these all are the products people purchase together. So that is after doing a big data analytics, a large number of data by considering all the purchases in the Amazon. But when it comes to a company, take an example, HR analytics, that restrict only to the database which is generated locally. So that is the difference between the big data and small data. That is what I have understood. And nowadays it's like people may create the definition for example, what is the difference between a data analyst and a data scientist or database administrator? Of course, there are slight differences out there. Or what is the mean by data analysis or analytics? But the reality is that you have to take an example and you try to see the data in that angle. You will get the answer to that question. That's why. Otherwise, you may get confused if you go through the into YouTube or net. They will, people will give you different sort of interpretation, and at the end of the day, you will be confused. Okay, how can we connect with the data science with the digital marketing? Okay, very good question. See, when it comes to marketing, and or previously what was the scenario like, we want to identify people, which you can able to sell it easily, or we have to identify the right people. What people are thinking digital marketing means digitally you sell it, like use the social media platforms like Google, sorry, Facebook or WhatsApp or Instagram, where digital marketing or digital marketing tools are available. But the reality of digital marketing is much more than that. Take an example. If you want to sell a product and you are giving an ad in the Facebook and you are getting almost 1,000 likes, further is still you confused what to do further, to whom to contact, and randomly you are selecting 10 people making a call, and you may be disappointed. They may not respond to you in a proper way, and they maybe tell that they are not interested. They have given the like and we are thinking that what they are interested. But the reality is that there are a lot of other aspects are also there. And take an example. Eureka Forbes did a campaign to sell their product, and when they digitally market, what happened is like so many people are interested, but to whom I should contact? So if I'm approaching, making 1,000 calls to 1,000 people, those who are interested, it is not necessary that that may convert. We want to screen it out further to identify, highly probable people who can purchase those products. Sometimes you have to use more deep dive into data. Sometimes you have to analyze other database also. Take another example is like there is a concept called creating an artificial persona into Google. And Google, this artificial person is looking for those people who is searching. Take an example. When you are in the office after the lunch time, and I don't know whether you notice, I don't know whether do you have the habit or not. After you come back to your seat, the first thing is you are searching for something your personal. Sometimes you would like to purchase something. Suppose I would like to purchase a gown for my daughter. I'm searching, that gown, any online platforms are where I can purchase. And this artificial persona is looking for, there is a guy who is seriously searching for that one. And if you are using a proper algorithm in the data science, that will help you to able to reach, in my context, digital marketing. Take an example, a banking industry. In bank, what happened is like I want to sell multiple product. Okay, so which product to whom I should sell? So I have got 5 products are there. So the real purpose of data science or digital marketing is your system should tell you, okay, you call Mr. Joseph at 2 o'clock and try to pitch a tax saving product, because system would have recognized that this guy need a tax planning, and from the data it's collected from external sources, quite possible, maybe many other sources also. And that executive is calling that person at the right time, and he is also surprised, oh, I need a product like this, and he is interested to talk. and he's pitching the right product, and the sale will happen over there. That should be the digital marketing, rather than just giving a post in the Facebook, and it's not necessary that the sales may happen. How can you get data science with the digital marketing? That is what I'm telling you. Which is the best path of learning data science for an engineering question? Okay. See, when it is comes to, I told you, when it is comes to data science, somebody is asked a question, data science and digital marketing. There are a lot of different kinds of data is generating. One is my personal profile. The second is that, there are a lot of products available. Okay. And what kind of product I am searching. So one side, there are a lot of people who need that product. Other side, the service provider who want to sell the product. And it's very, very difficult to reach over there. Okay. So where you are, using all the platforms to collect the data. And, those platforms are like, take an example. In December, December is the time in US where a lot of divorce is happening or a lot of breakups are happening. The reason is very simple. December has got a lot of holidays are there, and those who are living together spend more time. Okay. And that leads to the reality. They try to realize who you are, and that leads to the breakup. Okay. So in Facebook, they announce, we, break up, and I'm single now. I'm, you people are always welcome to my life. That is what they are declared. And this is a data, and that data is connected with a lot of other industry. So I'm talking about one side of race Facebook breakout, other side, what exactly? Other side, the people living together, that leads to, they would like to buy a new house. They want to buy, when we live as a family, we need certain things. Definitely those kinds of things affect the business of that one, right? That is one thing. Second thing, interesting thing is that, that is affecting consumer goods, because they want to purchase the new things for the household. Even interesting observation, that is even affecting, the sale of beer. Suppose after the breakup, they want to forget everything what happened in the past. They even change the brand of the liquor also. There are a lot of insights are there. So as far as, digital marketing is concerned, they want to collect the data from the multiple sources and try to find out the right person to pitch that product, and make sure that the sales will happen at the other end. That is a power, and we have to develop a tool or algorithm like that way. Can be same tool for perform all aspect of data mining, cleaning, and visualization? It's not the same tool. It's all depend upon what kind of work we have got. Suppose if you are dealing with big data, in that case we have to use tools, softwares like Hadoop or SAS, which have the capability to handle the large amount of data. So if an organizational point of view, if you want to visualize something, they can use even Tableau or Power BI, even Excel or RapidMiner or ClickView. Or the best example of data science is, you take an example of Uber, Ole, and Swiggy, all these things and all. And Ole is the classic example. If you just search, you will get n number of examples. They are in the process of visualization. Any kind of abnormality. For example, one taxi driver is tried to kidnap a passenger. Immediately, they will get some kind of indications from the data they are collecting continuously, and they can able to connect and identify who is the driver, and they may can do the needful things immediately. Because that is also visualization, where there they want to use some high-end visualization tool, and sometimes they may be directly, it may be a real-time visualization rather than collecting, cleaning, because they don't have the time to do all this process, and immediately they want to identify that one. And it's all depend upon to business model, they have to use that one. So let me try to answer the question. The best path of learning data science for engineering. Okay, MBA graduate should focus to get into an airline industry. Question from Travis. Okay, see, whether you are doing engineering or MBA or any degree program, first you have to identify, as I told you, who are you, your plus and minus, your domain is very important, and you are trying to specialize in that domain. Suppose a student would like to get into an aviation industry. First of all, you should identify in aviation industry which area. Do you want to go to, operational aspect of aviation industry, or you'd like to work as an HR over there, or you would like to work marketing team of aviation, where exactly your specialization. The second, wherever you go, you can able to add. So there are two things are important: your skill and tool. So when you're going for an interview, what they are actually looking for, what kind of skill set you have got, and how many tools you are familiar with. And if you can able to make a differentiation with others, and you are familiar with, there are certain tools like Tableau, Power BI, or you are aware about R and Python, and sometimes it is not necessary that the tool used by the company you may have got it. So you may have got a different tool, but the company is using a different tool. Take an example. One of my colleagues, he recently joined in Alliance, and he know about Power BI and Tableau, but Alliance is using a visualization tool called MicroStrategy. Even after discussing with him, I came to know that there is a tool like that, and that tool is there even from 80s, 1889. That tool, in 1989, the tool was available. At that company is established, and the company will select you because company realize that you're a person always updated and upgraded, and you're always available aware about these kinds of tool. That means you are a multi-talented person. You put this much effort to learn these things, and obviously, as I told you, learning is continuous. If you are in the process, if you have got a very good mindset to learn, definitely they may can take you. So if you are specifically targeting any industry, you should know the domain knowledge about that industry. You should know what's really happening in that industry, each and every aspect, what sort of strategies companies are following in that, what's really happening in the market, because it's a highly competitive market. When you, and if you are an MBA student, an engineering student, try to do project in that, and you go for a planned career. It's like after doing your program and next day itself you want to get into a aviation industry, that may not be practically possible. You have to plan at least that required even a 1 year to 6 months, 6 months to 1 year time, because it's a continuous process and you have to learn a lot. And we are trying to learn from its outside. And if you go internally, you may get, your learning pace may be something different, but outside it's take time, and you have to take care of other studies also. So you need a long-term plan. What should be your profile, what should be your industry or even a company, and what is the skills and tools required for that one. And that's what I told you, practice something which is not paid for, and the one day is waiting for you that will pay you what you're practicing. How much time will you take to skill the data science field? This all depend upon person to person, but I can tell you it will take time. It's not a quick reach. It's like 1 or 2 days you can able to learn all these things. It's take time to understand, how really things are happening. It may take trying to understand learning the tools, all these tools. For example, you take a simple tool like Excel. The last 15 years I'm working in Excel, still I'm believing I know only 5% of Excel. That's the power of that tool. That much in depth is that there. The same way, if you take a tool like Power BI, it's very interesting to see the visualization, but you have to learn a lot of other things. First, you should have an idea regarding the business and business model, and then only you can able to identify, what is the business problems and what kind of solution we can able to get it. You can able to generate that one. Number one. Number two, you also want to learn languages like DAX. DAX is a mix of SQL and Excel, and at a higher end, you want to learn another language called M, and these languages are not that much common, so it will take its own time to learn. But by giving a practical example, it's all depend upon, that's what I'm telling, it's all depend upon person to person, how much dedicated you are, how much time you are assigning for learning additional skills and tools. And it's depend. And I can tell you maybe 6 months to 1 year. And sometimes, take an example. What will happen to the sales of Lulu in the next 1 month? I can able to predict by using, a statistical tool called regression model, or logistic regression is using for predicting it. You can learn the concept of logistic regression maybe in 30 minutes. But regression never, there are regression. If you get into deep dive into regression, you'll come to know that there is simple regression is there, logistic regression is there, auto regression is there. And if you want to expertise in regression, or if you want to expertise in predictive model, you want to wait for maybe next to 2 years, because that much in depth. Suppose if I want to predict, if I give 50% discount at Kochi Metro, what will happen to my sales? Or how can I improve the sales of Kochi Metro sales? So discount is one of the factor. Yes. And sometimes whenever the match is happening in Cochin International Airport, the sales of Metro is in revenue of Metro is increasing. And whenever there is a hartal or when this is happening, that time people are using Metro. Yes, that time sales is increasing. Suppose now, uh, Bangalore and Chennai is highly polluted city, and people are started migrating from those cities to Cochin because it's a green city, and the population increases, and because of leading in population, that leads to increase the revenue of metro. So there are multiple factors are there. So by using regression, you can able to predict it. Okay. So it's something like dependent and independent variables. So I'm not going into that in deep, but I'm telling you is that you are confused. When multiple factors are there, I have to give an assignment to or weightage to each factor. So I want to go for multicollinearity of different variables. So that's going deeper and deeper. So when you are willing to learn more and more, that if that is creating more interest, you never, you never experience that difficulty of learning. Rather than it's always motivate and excite you. And your learning should be like that way. You have to. It is a first you have to develop a self-learning things for you that will help you to learn further rather than in somebody's others can mentor you, others can guide you, no doubt about that one, but personally you have to prepare or develop a self-learning system for you that will help. And I cannot able to accurately tell you how much time it take, but I'm thinking like this way. See, as a student, assume that you are a student or you are a junior guy. You don't want to learn the strategies to develop data science, or for digital marketing, what are the high end strategy. You don't want to learn all these things. You focus on only few things. That's called entry level skills, entry level tools, entry level exposure. That is enough, because once you get into that one, then who is the best teacher in the world? I can tell you it's not my teachers. It was the first supervisor or first manager to whom I have worked under him. And whenever I have any doubt, he made me like that way. I started my career as an analyst. And I'm sure the first boss was, Yogesh R. Gupta. He was the director. And I learned everything from him. And because why? I faced a lot of issues during the working. He guided me. Okay. So as far as he is concerned, when he selected me, he looked at, and the company is expecting only one thing, entry level skills, and you focus only that one. And I'm sure 10,000 candidates are there, not even 1% is preparing for that one. So they have a degree, they are focusing maybe on soft skills, but of course soft skills required. But more than that, I do believe two things: one is skill, another is tool. And if you know these, at least few, I'm not telling everything, few, one or two, and you just really work on that one, and you'll realize whether it is your cup of tea or not. And sometimes you may can change. It is not necessary that you should work as a data scientist. Sometimes you may not go to that level. So that is also another problem. Some students would like to work as a data scientist, but what is his capacity? He may not have that much capacity to go to that level. Because somebody is telling, I would like to learn machine learning and I want to go for artificial intelligence, robotic process automation, but he doesn't like programming. There is no point thinking like that way. So you have to realize yourself, and you can able to identify a career matching with your domain, matching with your capacity in the area of data science. You have to think like that way. Tool perform all the aspects of data mining, cleaning, and visualization. Question. What else? Time it will take. I hope I have answered almost all the questions. Some questions are okay. Is it okay? Any other specific questions? As it is an online, I'm not getting the emotion of level of emotion of each and every question. Sometimes I may can give you a better answer for that one. These are the limitations of online, but still I hope I could able to answer this question.